Good afternoon. We're here with Lex Sokolin, founder of Generative Ventures. Lex, it's been a long day. It's your second time at the London Summit. What do you make of it? How was it so far?
I think it's a fantastic event. I really just enjoyed the panel we did on ChatGPT and generative AI, and it's very lively. You see a lot of capital markets folks here and talking about the market, so I think a great place to be.
Great. So discussing AI, it's quite impossible to not talk about Microsoft and the whopping move that they made with Sam Altman and OpenAI. How do you see the long-term impact on the nascent AI industry?
Yeah, so the move we're talking about is where OpenAI fired its CEO and founder, and then everybody decided to quit OpenAI as well. I think 700 of the 800 people are quitting OpenAI to go with Sam Altman to Microsoft, where he's just gotten a new job as a CEO of a new business unit, and Microsoft has a perpetual license to use OpenAI technology. So it was, I think, the biggest an $80 billion self-own in tech, a pretty incredible acquisition from Microsoft as well. But I think the broader theme is that it answers the question of what AI looks like, or the large language models, what they look like going forward. And the answer to that is that they're done at scale by big tech companies, that they're centralized and managed by folks that you're quite familiar with it, which is Microsoft, Google, Meta, Facebook, right? They're unlikely to have a different shape. So I think for me, it creates a really interesting dynamic relative to open source. So you might have these very big custodial information models with the big tech companies in the same way that BlackRock is custodian over basically the entire equity market. But then separately, you have the world of open source, where these models are done in a much more decentralized way, bottoms up by people who want to participate. So I'm really curious as to see how that dynamic plays out.
So if I take this to your own venture, you said at the panel that you're looking into companies and projects that can make financial services get the pace of AI. So can you elaborate on what you're looking for and which areas are you interested in?
I don't have a simple answer to your question. It's a complicated space. I think that a lot of the value accrual, so the capital gains and the value from having built these enormous models is going to go to the big tech companies. And I think in part, the models are really expensive to produce, so it's very capital inefficient to actually build a new foundational model from scratch. And then you have to fight for enormous distribution, hundreds of millions or billions of people you need, while paying hundreds of millions of GPU cost and so on. So that's a game that is not a venture game. Venture is looking for, or at least we look for, seed and Series A investments where we can lead and where there's some sort of control and we're able to participate with a company. So for us, we need to find a focus rather than trying to chase all of these big foundational models. And our focus has been on the financial layer of an artificial intelligence fueled economy. So this is kind of complicated, but I'll try to give three framings, okay? For the finance people, we are a fintech fund with an AI or a Web3 tilt. So we like fintech, okay?
That's good.
But we look at where it intersects with crypto and AI together.
Okay.
For the crypto people, we are a crypto fund, but we focus on where there's real economic activity on chain. And that comes either from fintech flows in, embedded payments, payment processing, DAO, payroll, treating DAOs as small businesses, so building new products and services rather than just trading around. And then number two, it comes from artificial intelligence using the labor to create digital products. So images, content, all of that stuff is digital objects, and the Web3 networks, blockchains, are built for settling and trading digital objects. So that's the Web3 framing. The AI framing is, we're an AI fund that's interested in how do AIs pay each other? How do they transact with each other? What is the right financial networking underneath an economy where AIs are contributing a large portion of GDP. So all of these are different parts of the elephant, but together
Right.
it's an elephant.
It sounds like one.
Yeah.
So is it a big elephant in the sense that to the layperson it may sound very specific, that you're looking for companies
Yes.
that are doing some very specific things. So my question is, A, is this space growing?
Yeah.
And B, what are the difficulties? Or, I mean, for the crypto side, for example, you need a lot of heavy lifting in the infrastructure or computing. So how does that look like in the firms you're looking at? Or not firms yet, the concepts you're looking at?
Yeah, so for sure, this is a North Star for how we hope the world will be. And we hope the world will be this way as a counterweight to the custodial model of big tech owning basically super intelligence that we all get to rent a little bit, which is a dystopian nightmare, which I think is similar to the financial world where the custodian owns all the assets and people actually don't own any assets. They just interact with numbers on a mobile screen thinking it means something. So the Web3 world is one where you actually own your digital data, where you own your identity, where you own your finances, and you own your AI agents that represent you and behave on your behalf. You know, I don't want other companies having deep fakes of me that they manipulate in video meetings, which is what Apple does.
Like Apple may soon enough have, yes.
I would rather have, for me it's the ick factor. Like I want people to actually have sovereignty over their own derivatives. If you're going to have versions of yourself, avatars of yourself out there doing things on your behalf, I would like to at least control those avatars. You know,
and who is making sure that you're out of control? Will you see? Do you foresee like a regulatory attention spent there, or is it or should the market resolve it, or pioneers like yourself?
I think it happens in both directions. So there for sure will be regulatory overlays, but that's, you know, in any custodial environment. The custodial environment is, I want you to make something easy for me, and I trust you to do it. Here's my stuff. And then all of a sudden you steal it. And I'm like, oh man, why'd you steal my stuff? And you're like, well,
Again.
I had it. Yeah, exactly. Again, Sam Bankman-Fried. It's not a crypto problem. It's the fact that you're a custodian of all my crypto and you stole it. It's not great. You know, and in this case, this agent principal problem, you punish it or you regulate it with law, and then you punish people who step out of it. The other solution to the custodial problem is to not have custody. In this case, I never gave you my money, I always had it. Now, then I'm to blame if I lose all my money because I forget where it is, you know, or if I accidentally have my avatar generate some hate speech, well, like I did it, that's my fault. And people don't like that, but it's a different set of problems. Anyway, so to address your point, I think that you do have regulators stepping in about what AI can do. Today, you can go to ChatGPT and ask it for financial advice, and you can say, I don't need financial advice, but just hypothetically, if I was, you know, 40 years old and male and conservative in my investment preferences, and I wanted
as a financial advisor. Please let me know what
should I do? And the answer is going to be beautiful. It'll give you something. It'll basically give you a model portfolio that you can go and implement. You can ask it for tickers. It'll do your analysis and so on. That's already done.
Yes.
That's not, you know. So for sure, regulation will come for that. But I think there's a series of things that have to be built outside of the custodial perimeter, where you have an alternate architecture for actually owning and controlling your data and your personas, so that the thing is literally in your wallet. And the only infrastructure I have seen to date that allows for ownership of your data, of content, whether that content is financial or not, is Web3. It is the only architecture for digital ownership. And so I see that as part of the answer, counterbalance to what could be a very extreme situation otherwise.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack, I think, both for tech-savvy readers or viewers and others. Thank you for this, and good luck with implementing this well-crafted vision.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks.